The film begins with Adam Clay, taking care of the bees in his living space. He rents a garage from Eloise Parker, a retired schoolteacher. Despite living alone, they have a friendly relationship, and Clay recognizes Eloise as the only person who has truly cared for him. One day, Eloise encounters a virus warning on her computer. She calls the number provided, unknowingly connecting to a call center run by a phishing scam operation called United Data Group. Mickey Garnett, the head of the center, gathers his team to eavesdrop on Eloise's conversation. He deceives her into installing what she believes is antivirus software, but it actually grants the scammers access to her accounts. They proceed to drain over $2 million from the charities she manages, leaving Eloise devastated while the scammers revel in their deceit. Later, Clay visits Eloise's house after she invites him for dinner, bringing her a jar of honey. Upon entering, he discovers the door open and decides to investigate with a knife. FBI agent Verona Parker arrives just as Clay does, and they both find Eloise dead from a gunshot wound to the head. A loaded pistol and discharged bullet lie on the floor. Initially suspecting Clay of murder, Verona has him arrested. However, it is later determined that Eloise tragically took her own life. Verona apologizes to Clay and learns about his close relationship with her mother prior to her death. Clay reaches out to his former organization, the Beekeepers, in order to gather information about the individuals who scammed Eloise. He is directed to the UDG call center, where he encounters two guards. After they discover him carrying 2 gas containers, Clay engages in a physical altercation with them. Upon arriving at the call center, Clay violently incapacitates one of the scammers to demonstrate his seriousness, prompting the others to evacuate. Garnett arrives and attempts to involve security, but Clay easily defeats them. He proceeds to douse the call center with gas and attaches a bomb, ensuring its destruction when someone responds to their scam ads. Within moments, the call center is obliterated. Meanwhile, Verona joins her partner Matt Wiley to investigate the arson, while Garnett contacts his boss, Derek Danforth, from Danforth Enterprises, the security company overseeing the data mining operation that UDG was involved in. Garnett informs Derek about Clay's actions. In response, Derek instructs Garnett and a team of his associates to locate Clay at Eloise's residence. They manage to find him and pursue him into his garage. However, Clay gains the upper hand, eliminating the first 3 associates before confronting Garnett. He uses a bandsaw to sever Garnett's fingers and then throws him into the back of a pickup truck. Clay drives the truck to a bridge and secures Garnett to the wheel of another truck while conversing with Derek on the phone. Derek overhears everything as Clay sends the truck with Garnett inside, plunging into the river. Clay concludes the conversation by vowing to pursue Derek next. Derek enlists the assistance of the company's chief of security, Wallace Westwild, to identify Clay's true identity. Upon discovering that Clay is a former beekeeper, Wallace realizes the imminent danger they are in and cautions Derek that he has angered the wrong person. Wallace reaches out to Derek's mother, POTUS Jessica Danforth, who pleads with him to protect her son. He then contacts CIA Director Janet Howard to discuss Clay's involvement, and together they reach out to the beekeepers themselves, offering a reward for Clay's capture. Clay finds himself at a gas station when he is confronted by Anisette Landers, his current replacement beekeeper. Anisette tries to ram her car into Clay before shooting at him. In retaliation, Clay fights back and manages to evade every shot fired by Anisette, who then resorts to using a large machine gun. However, all her shots miss their target. Clay retaliates by throwing a jar of honey at her and setting her on fire, ultimately killing her and keeping her index finger as a trophy. Janet informs Wallace of Anisette's demise, and the beekeepers decide to remain neutral as the situation unfolds. Meanwhile, Verona and Wiley continue their investigation into recent events, and Verona begins to connect the dots regarding Clay's involvement. Wallace assembles a team of highly trained Special Forces operatives and briefs them on the threat posed by the Beekeepers, an organization known for rectifying corrupt practices worldwide. He warns them about Clay's potential actions and orders them to apprehend him if he gets closer to their operations. As expected, Clay is spotted using Anisetti's finger to gain access to a Beekeeper base and obtain the address for the 9-Point Center, where Derek's call centers are located. Clay prepares himself and sets off to confront them. An FBI team assembles following the allocation of funds by Deputy Director Prig, D'Angilay, to proceed to the 9 Points building, only to discover that Wallace's team has already arrived. The leader of the mercenary group, Pettis, Michael Epp, instructs the call center employees to evacuate in anticipation of Clay's arrival. Clay defeats the FBI agents in a physical altercation, infiltrates the call center, and engages in a fight with Pettis's men. Eventually, he subdues Pettis himself. Clay eliminates several individuals in an elevator before being pursued by Verona, Wiley, and their associates. Clay forcefully interrogates the center's manager, using staples to coerce him into revealing Derek's identity. Verona attempts to dissuade Clay from seeking revenge, but he remains resolute in completing his mission. After Clay departs, Verona and Wiley discover evidence implicating Derek as the mastermind. Upon learning that Clay has once again eluded capture, Wallace proposes that Derek seek refuge with his mother, who is under the protection of the Secret Service. Derek seeks shelter at Jessica's luxurious beachside mansion. Meanwhile, Verona and Wiley provide a detailed account of the situation to Prig, concluding that Clay intends to target Jessica as a queenslayer, alleging that she financed her own campaign using stolen funds. Prig grants them unrestricted authority to employ any means necessary to apprehend Clay, issuing them a blank check. The FBI and various individuals assemble at the mansion during a party. Clay manages to sneak in by pretending to be Secret Service before entering the mansion. Wallace and Derek, along with a team of mercenaries and Lazarus, Taylor James, who claims to have slain a beekeeper at the expense of his leg, prepare for action. Meanwhile, Derek and Jessica are in a room with Prig, who questions them about UDG. It is revealed that Derek had financed Jessica's entire campaign with stolen funds, causing her to feel guilty. Verona, Wiley, and Lazarus apprehend Clay outside, but he creates a diversion by detonating a bomb. Clay fights off more henchmen as he makes his way inside the mansion. Prig, upon learning the truth about Derek, murders him while waiting for Clay to arrive. Clay and Lazarus engage in a brutal battle, culminating in Clay fatally stabbing Lazarus. Clay enters Jessica and Derek's room as she prepares to confess Derek's crimes. Verona and Wiley also enter, attempting to prevent Clay from harming Jessica. When Derek refuses to back down, he prepares to kill his mother, but Clay shoots Derek in the head first, before leaping out the window. The Secret Service arrives to escort Jessica out as she mourns Derek's death. Verona briefly considers apprehending Clay, but ultimately allows him to escape, believing that justice has been served for her mother and other victims. While other agents search for Clay, he manages to evade capture by discovering hidden scuba gear and swimming away.